Welcome everybody to episode, I'm gonna do what you did, of the Omnis Chronicles. I know it's episode 7. How scary is that? We're almost we're getting closer to the double digits. It's kind of cool though. And as you can see by the Commodore's outfit, it is kind of chilly today. He's bundled up warm and nice and cozy with an electric blanket, and Hugh has a blanket, not an electric blanket. And I was telling them that my blanket got stolen by the cat who's sitting on my desk. Unfortunately, I can't show you because my camera and Ross's camera aren't working. We are looking into that, but you'll see like little pictures of us, obviously in the post edit, and we'll get into it. So today it's kind of a weird one. Not really weird. It's something that came to mind last night, so I thought it would be a good topic, is to see whether we agree or disagree with the internet's rankings and ratings of the top 5 best episodes of Star Trek and the top 5 worst episodes of Star Trek. See if we agree with them, if there's anything that we would change, and then obviously if you have any other episodes that you think make that list, obviously take it from there. So I just need to get it up, if you give me 1 second. In the meantime, I know, while to fill the silence, I know that Hugh wanted to mention something about one of the writers that passed away, so I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah. It's sad to see that Jeri Taylor has passed at 86 years old. She began writing for Star Trek Next Generation in the 4th or 5th season, I think, and went on to be a co-creator with Rick Berman and Brandon Bagger or Rick Berman, should I say, for Voyager, and she wrote for, I think, most of Voyager, but not quite all. And so she should be credited with a lot of the genius behind Next Generation and Voyager's fantastic episodes. She was, from all accounts, an absolutely fantastic person, and a sad loss to everybody, but especially the Star Trek community. So rest in peace, Jeri.
Their number 5 is from the original series, and the episode in question is the Omega Glory. I don't know if anyone remembers it, so I will just obviously put what they have here, where it says the Omega Glory rehashes themes ad nauseum that were already included in previous 3 parallel Earth installments of season 2. They mentioned it could have been halfway interesting had Captain Tracy not been an insane criminal, and had Omega, I think it's 4, not being incredibly Earth-like, even without interference. They say there's nothing of note in the episode, but perhaps the biggest cringe moment of Star Trek, as the Yang solemnly carry a US flag that is in tatters. Everyone rises from their seats in reverence, and Kirk is to speak the holy words, followed by a fight as he fails to say what they wanted to hear.
And that's one of the worst episodes?
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that. Entirely, yeah. That was it was a bit of a waste of an episode. There is unfortunately episodes like that where not much happens and stuff tends to happen in spite of what Star Trek's meant to be all about, and that was one of the episodes. Yeah, I'll agree with that one, definitely.
I'll defer to you. I don't know.
Does John agree or disagree?
I agree. It's a weird episode. At the end, it's a bit weird. Spoken words is great independence, Okay.
I haven't seen it, so Then they've got, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what TAS is, but it says the Slaver weapon is number 4.
Oh yeah, animated series.
Okay, well that makes sense because it's a cartoon hand holding a weapon.
Yeah.
They say
Wait.
it's like a companion episode to the original series, the alternative factor, because it's too consistent of concepts that don't fit together in a story. The course of the plot is apparently bumpy. The history of the slavers and cultural background of the, I'm not even going to try and say that. Are awkwardly cluttered together. There's no piece of background information contributing to the plot or making sense at all. Well, obviously that's one of the reasons why that's in there, because you need an episode that makes sense, and you need something that has a backbone and plot. But again, it's not something I've seen, so I can't really comment. But I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with that one.
Yeah, there's quite a few episodes, I think, in the animated series. Although it was good and some of it was well written, for me it's not my most. It's probably my least favourite of all the Star Treks. Is the animated series, and that's including the fact that I don't particularly like Lower Decks, but I can get Lower Decks. I get why people like it and stuff like that. It's just not my cup of tea. But yeah, that episode in particular, there's quite a few episodes that are just sort of, they seem to be added in to just like sort of bulk out episodes with not really anything happen or contributing to anything at all whatsoever.
That's not good. You don't want that though.
Yeah. It's like all the episodes where they do flashbacks and stuff like that. I mean, every single flashback episode should be take up the top whatever of worst episodes as well, because that's just a lazy way out of writing that a proper episode.
Isn't that most of Hollywood today?
Yeah.
Someone's not a fan of flashbacks then.
No, not at all. Not at all. Right, write a proper
Well, it's
episode.
like I actually have to agree with you there. Flashbacks are like what are they? The remakes of different movies and stuff like that. Pointless. No one wanted a bloody remake of your stupid movie in the first place. Why do you keep doing it? You know, we know what happens, so leave it there, and create your own damn story.
I know. It's like there's a few where Riker's one in Next Generation, where Riker's dying on the table in sickbay, and there's flashbacks to stuff happening, and that's meant to contribute to what's going on on the table towards him trying to fight.
It doesn't move the plot on at all.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's just somebody. I don't know. It's like too many people phoned in sick that day, and there was only one writer left, and we're like, oh shit, I'll just piece it together from all this other crap that we have.
Well, that's a good segue, because I think the episode you're talking about is number 3 on their list, which is Shades of Grey, when Commander Riker comes down with a dangerous alien infection after an away mission, and the only way to treat it may be through reliving his memories.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. Yeah.
So it
No,
made the list.
Absolute waste of an episode that is. So it was.
Terrible.
In fact, that's one of the ones episodes like that I've seen once or twice. I sort of, when I'm rewatching the shows, I kind of tend to skip them. To be fair, because I just can't be arsed with them. It's like it's lazy writing and lazy storytelling, as far as I'm concerned.
100% agree.
One of the next ones is also from the Next Generation. It is the episode called Justice, where it basically says, on an alien planet, young Wesley Crusher commits a transgression, small by our standards, but mandatorily punishable by death in theirs. That make the list as well, and I'm pretty sure Ross won't mind because he doesn't like Wesley Crusher's character.
I think they should have executed him.
That's the flight one, isn't it? Oh no, wait, that was a different.
No, that was a different one. That was when he screwed up on a training day to impress his friends in the flight corps, and then they went and killed one of their friends doing it.
It's not this one.
It's
Yeah,
not this
that-
one. No.
Yeah, this one's he just he's they're on a planet where everybody's like really fit and healthy and beautiful, and they all wear these like really white revealing clothes, and Wesley goes to play with the kids and falls into a wee greenhouse type thing, and because that's the particular area that was getting the law enforced that day, then and because he broke the law by destroying some plants or whatever it was, then he deserved death. I don't
That's
particularly.
the one where they run around all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, they run everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah, playing like a small football in the air.
yeah. As weird as that episode was, in terms of everything that was going on, the way the people were all really childlike in their ways, and there was that sort of big creature thing in the sky, which turned out to they used the same thing for a space station later on.
Yeah, that was quite funny. I
Yeah.
have to admit that it's like that was a space station, wasn't it?
Yeah, that episode where all the crew lost all their memories and they were
Yeah.
meant to be fighting this. There was what was it? The XO was actually Commander Macduff or somebody like that, and they were fighting these enemies that were like outclassed in every single way technologically, and so they used that for the space station. So that was when you're rewatching it again, you're a bit like, oh, that's that space station. Oh, that was cheap. But in terms of them all being childlike and stuff like that, and them and stuff, and the way they were towards other people and all, like kissy and huggy and all that sort of stuff. I mean, fair enough. I mean, it harks back to sort of some of the cultures that you met on in the original series, but I don't think it should be in the worst episodes, because
No, it shouldn't be in the worst episodes. I
Yeah.
agree there.
yeah, the whole thing behind one culture's values and what they think is right and wrong between laws and the federations, obviously, and them having to sort of Captain Picard having to sort of negotiate that and explain the differences between what the Federation hold true in terms of punishment and what is fair and not with a sort of godlike creature. I thought it was actually quite an interesting episode. Yeah, so I don't think that should be on the worst episodes.
No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't one of the best episodes, but it wasn't the worst either.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Mm.
it had its merits.
Yeah.
Okay, and then their number one is a night from the Enterprise series, A Night in Sickbay, where a lot comes together. It says a lot comes together in a night at sickbay that doesn't belong. Archer's stubbornness towards the Cretasans, his worries about Porthos, his uncle. I don't know why they put this in. His uncle's sexual frustration. Each topic would have been suited for nothing more than a side plot in a normal episode, but because they combined it all in one episode, the story ranges in a rather they basically just say it's tacky to just plain annoying, and they really don't like it. I have seen Enterprise, but I honestly don't remember it. This episode that they're referring to, the A Night in Sickbay, so I can't really say yes or no. But then again, a lot of Archer's things bug me, so I don't know. I would say yes, but I'm pretty sure there are a lot worse that could actually make that number one spot.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, well, it wasn't one of the best episodes. Whether it was the number one worst episode of all time, no way. There's plenty of episodes that I think could fall into that category, and I'll tell you them later. But yeah, it was a weird episode. It was a strange episode. It was another episode that, as good as much as I liked Enterprise, and it was really good that and it was really shit. Sorry that they cancelled it, and I'd like to see it going forward. It was one of these episodes where it was just a bit of an excuse as well to see to Paul and Next to Nothing in the decon bay, and then in the gym and stuff like that later on. It was one of those episodes where it's sort of, I mean, Enterprise has always been accused of sort of overly sexualizing the female characters, and I totally agree in terms of this sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, bad episode, yes. Number one worst episode, no, not at all.
Okay, so before we go on to the best episodes, from all three of you, which are your best? Which are your either you can say your top 5, your top 3, or your number 1. What would you say is your would be yours to choose from?
The number one.
Spock's Brain, original series.
Is that the one where he was put into a machine? Spock's brain was put into a machine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just walking up a robot, isn't he?
And they were controlling him with the remote control thing. That was funny, yeah.
It must have been on somewhere writing that.
Yeah, that was quite funny, I must admit. And the thing is, in that episode, you thought, no, I mean, it's like if somebody like Spock's brain was put into a computer system, it's like it took him a hell of a long time for Spock to get control of the systems, and he didn't get complete control of the systems. You think Spock's brain was transferred? It's like he would very quickly understand what's happening, what's going on, be able to take over the entire computer system and do what he wants to help his crewmates, where it was ridiculously drawn out. So yeah, I'd agree with you there, John. Yeah.
So does that mean you guys have the same?
Oh no, the worst step. I can't remember what it was called. In fact, hold on, I'll tell you.
I'll tell you a story, and I'll tell you. You won't know before.
Well, while Hugh searches it up, mine is it's a tie between the two, but it's because they have the same. They're similar, just different series. It's I don't know the names of them, but it's from Next Generation and from Voyager, where Tom Paris and Riker have to they get accused of killing those people, that guy. So Riker gets accused of killing the scientist dude, and they need to prove why he's been framed and stuff, and they go like through all the steps and stuff. And then obviously there's a similar episode in Voyager where Mr. Paris was framed for killing a scientist as well, and having an affair with the wife and all of that. And I don't like those. Like, I get the point behind them, but the fact that they had two episodes very similar, just different characters, different stories, different timelines, obviously.
I'm gonna say it.
Remember?
It's that stupid shit. It's that member berries crap that they're trying to play on that. I don't like that either.
But that's my worst one. I don't know if Hugh's ready or otherwise.
Yeah. Also, the 2 episodes, and they're both in Voyager, which I really, really like Voyager. Voyager's, I mean, it's my most rewatched show after Next Generation. I love to just put episodes on when I've got nothing to do. But 2 episodes. One, the fight, where Chakotay's getting attacked by some parasite thing or whatever it is, and I'm just looking here. He's trying to communicate with aliens through a vision quest, and he's doing it in terms of being a boxer back in the 1930s or something like that. Yeah, that was a pretty just non-eventful episode, which was really boring. And hopefully I'm saying this right. Sunkatsu, which was the one with The Rock in it, where 7 of 9 had to like fight him. Yeah, the 2 episodes for me are just, they added absolutely nothing to Voyager, to the storyline, to anything that was going on. In fact, they were just a bit boring and non-plus. I just, yeah, not ones I'm particularly fussed about at all. So yeah, they'd fall into my category of just plain, just boring, pretty much. I don't like to say boring when it comes to Star Trek because I love it all, and I would watch them. But I mean, if it's worst episodes altogether, yeah.
There are episodes that are boring, unfortunately. It's sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
And Mr.
Ross? Any episode from Discovery?
No, that doesn't count.
Because all of Discovery sucks. So any episode from Discovery, but my worst of all time is actually a Discovery episode. The one where the moron decides to, I think it was the first episode where she, the entire episode is full of stupidity when it came to how Star Trek, or how Starfleet actually uses their, utilizes their ships and their shuttlecraft and things like that. And utilizing anything essentially to do with their crew. But my worst part of that episode, and the reason why I hated it so much, was because why the fuck did Burnham spacewalk? What was the point of that? That was the stupidest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. They've got shuttlecraft for that exact reason. But oh no, we've got to do member berries for Star Trek that like Rian Johnson decided to do. No, it was fucking terrible. I hated it. Absolutely despised that episode. That was by far one of my worst and hated episodes. And it was because of that stupid spacewalk crap that they did. Unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary. Yeah.
So no strong opinions there?
None at all. None at all.
Lucky he doesn't feel strongly about it.
Awesome. No, I agree with you there.
Now we get on to the fun ones. The top 5 best ones. The first one is Where No Man Has Gone Before. And the synopsis is the 200-year-old USS Valiant flight code tells a terrifying story of a magnetic storm at the galaxy's edge. Why they say it's in the top 5 is because it epitomizes the spirit of Star Trek from obviously the original series. The episode showcases the Enterprise crew facing a godlike entity challenging the very limits of human understanding, and it's a classic example from the original series exploration of philosophical themes and moral dilemmas. It's season 1, episode 3, apparently.
Yeah.
Of which season? Which?
TOS.
Original series. Yeah, it's the second pilot after the cage.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the second pilot, but they put it as the third
Third
episode.
episode, yeah.
It's weird. Yeah.
Second pilot, but the third. That's one that snaps to next to Lucille Ball. Third episode said you.
Yeah, Jess. Yeah, 'cause she owned the production company that was making it, and she believed in it so much she put the money up front herself. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, it's a good episode. It's a good episode as a second pilot because it really explores what Star Trek's all about, which is going where no man has gone before, as the title says, and meeting new new races in new life forms that we've never experienced before, and or humanity hasn't been part of the human race. I'll say we, but yeah, I agree with that. That is a pretty solid episode. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Cool.
The only mistake on that was Gravestone. James R. Kirk.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Although I did like the silver eyes that they done. They were really cool.
I'll have to look at the silver eyes you're referring to.
Yeah, silver eyes are awesome.
But that's
Just
interesting.
that's
about
when they're taking over. They have these silver eyes, and it looks really cool.
Okay. That's very cool. So the next one they have is The Measure of a Man from The Next Generation. It is season 2, episode 9. It's where Data quits his job instead of being taken apart by an unskilled scientist, and then a hearing is held to decide if Data is property of a thinking being with rights. They say why they like it is it's widely regarded as one of the best episodes in the series. It features thought-provoking dramas delving into the nature of sentient and artificial intelligence. Picard and Riker debate Data's own rights, and it's an episode that sets the principle of Star Trek, respecting all life, no matter its form.
Not one of my personal favorites, as in I wouldn't put it as number one favorite episode for me, but as a Star Trek episode, I would suggest that yeah, I'm surprised that's not higher on the list and not up there at number 2 or number 1, because it is an amazing episode. It deals with everything that Star Trek is about, same like No Man Has Gone before, but this deals with a life form that we already know and love and know quite a lot about, and the characters have known for quite some time.
Yeah.
And it's whether he should have the right to be able to choose his own path and have the rights and privileges that are afforded everybody as a member of the Federation. I love that episode. It was brilliant, and the way Picard came back at the end. Riker was really good and doing quite a damning thing, and Picard came back and totally blew it out of the water. And then the wee end bit where Data says to Riker, because Riker was feeling bad and didn't want to join the party, about the being well, if you hadn't put up such a good fight, then they would have taken me away and they would have ruled against me summarily, and he wouldn't even went to trial. So, and it proved that Data is more than just a collection of circuits and stuff like that. He has some thought-provoking stuff to say, and there is shit going on inside his brain and stuff like that. Yeah, brilliant episode, fantastic.
Yeah. I remember watching it and it made me quite emotional as well, because like you get to feel for him, and like you sit and you worry and you wonder what will happen, and then you also obviously have the what if, and then you don't like to think about the what if they had taken him away and dismembered him and stuff. But like you said, if like you said and like they said in the episode, if Riker wasn't a good bad guy, then it wouldn't have worked out. And you can see that the actor who played him did it very well, portraying that he didn't like having to be bad towards his friend and someone he respected and all of that. And it's like, well, no one really wants to be bad towards their friends, but you have to do it, and rather him than someone else, essentially. That's how I feel about it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, especially when Riker was looking through Data's specs and found his off button, and he was like, "Oh yes," and then he's like, "Oh shite." It was that sort of moment where he realised that, oh yeah, I've got something here, I'm doing my job really well, and it's like, fuck man, that's going to really screw things up. I might actually win here. Yeah, that yeah, like you said, he played that really, really well. It was brilliant.
What does John and Ross have to say?
I agree. It's a very good episode.
Episode, yeah. On the Renaissance, last year's PIC, last year's one. Every so often they do a script read, and that's one of the episodes they chose to, because the writer of the script, the writer was at the time. We played the parts. We played parts. Oh, yeah, it's a good episode.
That's pretty cool.
I'm not too sure about uniform. The Devil's uniform. It didn't look right.
Oh, cool.
There's not two gold stripes down there on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one they have is Blink of an Eye, Season 6, Episode 12 of the Voyager, where it says the Voyager gets stuck orbiting a planet where time moves fast, with days passing in seconds and becoming part of the local mythology. Why they like it is Voyager encounters a planet where time moves at an accelerated rate, leading to fascinating consequences for the crew and the inhabitants. The crew of the Voyager demonstrate their individual skills and teamwork to resolve the issue, which reflects how Star Trek influences real-world tech. And they also like how the episode explored the concept of time dilation in a captivating and thought-provoking manner.
Yeah, totally agree. That episode is absolutely fantastic. That's a classic Voyager episode. And I mean, they've got themselves into a bit of trouble. They need to find out how to get out of it, and then they find out all the consequences that have been happening, and the fact that the people down there at one point think they're gods up in the sky, and it's really good to see the world progress through centuries and millennia really quickly, as Voyager stuck up there for what they consider for I think what is only like maybe like 1 or 2 days in their time or something like that. And yeah, it's a fantastic episode. I really like that one. It's I think that's a classic Trek episode as far as I'm concerned. That you could, I mean, that's the kind of episode that only Star Trek could do, and they do it really well. Brilliant.
That is true.
There might be another episode. Another episode, something like that.
There is?
There's another episode in Enterprise. I think it was something happened in Enterprise. Same sort of storyline.
Okay.
I think it was.
It's not impossible. They do have similar experiences sometimes, as is proven by the bad episode that I don't like. So, and I mean, you can't just say, oh no, things are only going to happen in Enterprise or Voyager. It's not going to happen to both of them, because you never know what can happen. So it is very likely. We'll just have to look it up.
It was a good episode. It was a good episode. I think I've only seen it once. That one.
Yeah, it is. So the next one is one that I've actually heard quite a few people talk about in general as being their favorite. So I'm honestly not surprised it's made the list. And that is The City on the Edge of Forever, where Dr. McCoy goes temporarily insane and alters history. Kirk and Spock need to pursue him to prevent disaster, but obviously with significant costs. The reason they like it is in the episode, Kirk and Spock travel back in time to the 1930s, confronting moral dilemmas and the consequences of altering history. They restore history, but it still remains heartbreaking, as a good person must stop another good person from performing a heroic act to prevent the best villain from winning in history. They go on to say, we can say that The City on the Edge of Forever is a masterclass in storytelling, blending sci-fi elements with human drama for our favorite characters. I have not seen that episode, but like I said, I've heard it
You
in,
will.
in general
You'll
passing that
you'll have
people
seen
really
pictures
liked
of it because that's the one with Joan Collins in it.
Yeah,
So-
you lost her there.
Oh, have you ever seen any episodes where Joan Collins is in it? That's the one she's in, and she plays a brilliant part, and that is a great episode. And it sort of like goes from really sci-fi to all of a sudden they're in the 1930s because of this library of stuff that they found on this dying planet, and then just McCoy's gone sort of mad and doesn't know what he's doing and who he is, and Spock and Kirk go back to try and find him, and it's you could once they actually go back to the 1930s, it could be any sort of dramatic episode from a number of episodes from a number of different series from that, and not sci-fi at all from that thing. Although there is the Spock trying to find modern day equivalents, 1930s equivalents, to try and make this machine to be able to try and figure out how to get back and stuff like that and find McCoy. But it's the whole story of having lost your memory and not knowing what you're doing, falling in love, and having to make the ultimate sacrifice for it is a brilliant episode.
Okay. Interesting. And then the next one is the Doomsday Machine, also from the original series, where the Enterprise finds the damaged USS Constellation and its distressed Commodore, who is resolved to halt the enormous planet-destroying robot ship that destroyed his crew. They say why they like it is it's a thrilling installment from the original series, featuring the Enterprise crew facing off against the planet-destroying weapon of mass destruction. And apparently many viewers hail Doomsday as the best episode for its tense atmosphere and compelling narrative, and they just say it's a must-watch.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. A definite must-watch. It's one of those episodes where
You sit on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, because it's like it's got a lot of stuff in it. It's the first time you see another Constitution class ship, another really the Federation ship, really. I think, so it's really cool. You're getting inside it. I mean, they use the exact same sets as it is they do for the Enterprise because it is a Constitution ship and stuff like that. But it's like most of the crew are killed, or all the crew are killed, apart from the captain who survived, and then the world-eating thing comes back, and Kirk gets injured, and so the other guy who's the other captain from the other ship who's lost it pretty much mentally because of after losing his entire crew and is just hell-bent on vengeance, but uses regulations to take over the Enterprise. It does have you on the edge of your seat because you're sitting there saying to the crew, "Oh, come on, I know it's mutiny, but just chuck him out the chair, put him in the brig." That I mean, do what you know is right. Do what you know what you think Kirk would do, because this guy's doing the exact opposite. So you're sort of, it's one of these episodes you tend to shout at the TV a bit, and I love that one. It was fantastic.
So overall, in general, do we agree with the top 5 best episodes?
Yeah, maybe not my choice personally, but if I was to pick top 5 episodes overall for Star Trek, I think they've done a good job of picking out some of the really, really fantastic episodes.
I think one I put on top would be Deep Space Nine, In Pale Moonlight.
Is that the one where Cisco brings the Romulans into the war.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a fantastic episode. That is the first time I seen that. I was like, oh my god, this is just. It is Star Trek, but it's not Star Trek, and it's like totally goes against what the Federation stands for and stuff like that. But you're like, well, he's doing the right thing, but he's not doing the right thing, and I can understand why he's done it. And it was like all sorts of crap going on. It was absolute. Yeah, that is a fantastic episode in the Pale Moonlight. It's really, really good.
Well, my favourites are even my real favourites. Original series, Bands of Terror.
That's
The first time you see the Romulans.
Oh right, yeah,
You know, you saw when you saw pictures of the Romulans come on the screen. You're standing there, Mark Leonard, playing the Romulan commander.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because he later became he's played Spock's dad after that, didn't he?
Yeah, and then in the motion picture, he's one of the Klingons in the motion picture.
Oh right, oh cool.
He's done Vulcan,
Look at
Romulan, Klingons.
Oh, fantastic! That's really good.
Yeah.
Original, the original series would be no. Something which I do like watching. I can't think of Next Gen, as I said, Next Gen's Pale Moonlight. Then there's Holly Sweet, the baseball one. He's playing baseball.
Right,
Ron does a bunt.
Yeah.
What happened? Max Grosnick, who played baseball. And that day, he could have been picked for a baseball team. So he had to make it look stupid. He had to back left-handed to make him look stupid. And yeah, I like that one. And so then Pale Moonlight, Voyager. There's two Voyager episodes I like. Is Missing the Ball, when the Doctor goes back to the other quadrant, to the other ship.
Oh, the Prometheus.
You got the
Yeah.
two Doctors working together.
Yeah, that's good. That's funny. That one. That's good.
And Flashback, Voyager Flashback. The one with when he goes back on the Excelsior.
Oh
With,
no. A
Oh, right, yeah.
flashback.
Well, it was a flashback, but it was flashback to what's his name again?
Sulu, wasn't it?
Tuvok. It was a flashback to Tuvok's earlier life before he was on Voyager, and when he first joined the Federation, because he joined Starfleet. He joined Starfleet, then left, then rejoined and stuff like that. Because Vulcans live forever. Well, not forever, but a hell of a lot longer than humans. So this was him on the USS Excelsior under Captain Sulu. So it was a flashback to that. So not a flashback episode, but yeah, that was a really good one as well.
I think they were planning to do a series of that.
Oh really? That would have been cool.
That's why they did it. I think it was to celebrate the so many anniversaries. To celebrate the 40th anniversary, so they decided to bring the original characters back. Rachel Whitney, Janice Rand, my favourite character. That's why I like it. And George Takei, but they Paramount at the time said no. We're going to start something different. We're going to do, we're going to do something different. And pull the plug on it. So then they got the episode, the series.
A shame
Would
because
be
that was a standout episode. It was really good.
Yeah.
What's Hugh's ones?
I have a few. that I just keep on watching all the time. I love Data's Day. I mean, these are maybe not best Star Trek episodes, just sort of
I
my
like Data's
personal
Day.
favourites. But Data's Day is brilliant. Where the one where he sort of he's given a sort of rundown of his 24 hours to the guy, the commander, whatever.
The one who was going to take him apart.
The one who's going to take him apart. Yeah. It's like but that day happens to be the day that Keiko and Miles O'Brien are getting married, and there's a thing about the is it T'Pol, a Vulcan ambassador who's actually a Romulan spy and stuff like that. There's all sorts of crap going on, and it's a really, really good. It's a good mixture of being tense but having quite comedic moments, especially Dr. Crusher trying to teach Data how to dance. It's brilliant.
Dance, okay.
Yeah.
Get tech music out, and you go now and do. I've got to.
Oh, that was brilliant. I love Body and Soul from Voyager, the one where the Doctor is put into Seven of Nine's implant because holograms are outlawed and they're seen as inferior, and they're like at war against holograms or something like that. I can't remember quite what, but it's quite a comedic episode because the Doctor's in Seven of Nine's body, and then he gets to experience for the first time things like food and all that sort of stuff, and flirting with a superior officer from the people who have captured them, and then when Seven of Nine sort of takes over and brings the Doctor back into his mobile emitter, she's disgusted at what had happened and stuff like that. A fantastic episode. It's really, really good. And my favourite episode probably overall is Family from I think it was season 4 episode 2, and I know that because it's the one after Best of Both Worlds, where Picard goes back. I mean, there's other things that go on, like the Rozhenko's coming on to meet Worf on board the Enterprise as it's getting repaired after Best of Both Worlds and the Borg attack and stuff like that, and then it's Picard healing after after getting brought back after being Locutus and doing what he's done, and his relationship with his brother, and the two of them basically fighting in the mucky vineyard and stuff like that, and then being really angry. You see the Picard's anger is just a sort of front for him not being able to cope, and he breaks down in front of his brother, who's deliberately been taking the piss out of him and try to annoy him and get him into this mood because he knows he needed it. He needed to break down and explain what he'd done and talk about it and stuff like that, and to somebody, especially his brother. And even though they didn't have the best of relationships growing up, that episode, I actually cried the first time I watched that episode. And the Picard broke down and stuff like that. I had a few wee tears. I was like, holy shit, man, it's really emotional. It was absolutely fantastic. Love it.
Well, like his death was played by played Picard in Rascals.
He did, yeah. The same boy, yeah. He's there. Yeah, yeah, that was really good.
Mr. Ross.
Gonna admit that my favorite episode, you guys probably wouldn't even consider to have been part of Star Trek, was the Elementary Dear Data. That was by far my favorite Star Trek episode. I don't know, it gave a new angle to how difficult it is to actually challenge someone like Data or an android like Data, and that it took a computer to basically create something to destroy. No.
Well, not back in time, but on the holodeck and stuff, and
yeah.
They go into a Sherlock Holmes story.
That was my episode.
I'm sorry. That's my favorite episode. But I like it because it actually challenges Data, and it shows that Data can actually be beaten, but it takes a shit ton to do it.
Yeah. I agree with you there. That's a fantastic episode. And the fact that the computer the computers when Geordie said an opponent that can be able to beat Data, and it comes up with a sort of
Moriarty.
a sentient Moriarty, a sentient
Yeah.
hologram. It's like really really good. It was fantastic.
That was what's so awesome about it. It was like a sentient Moriarty.
Yeah.
Well, fine. My second favorite episode is one that people might not agree with, because it is a good one, but people don't really see it as a good one because of what happens in it and stuff. But for me, as odd as it sounds, one of my favorite things was when the Enterprise encountered the Borg, and that whole thing. It's one of the
Which encounter, though, Ange?
where Picard gets taken and turned into the Quters and all of that. It's
All Best of Both Worlds, Part 1.
Part one.
Yeah, part one of Best of Both Worlds. Damn good episode, no doubt.
Very.
that's my favorite one.
Yeah, I agree with that there.
My favorite, because my favorite was Taken.
Well, Best of Both Worlds Part 1 was so good that I was the only Star Trek fan in my house, and I used to watch it in the wee portable TV in my room that my computer was hooked up to, and my dad wanted to play something on the computer, and I was watching Star Trek, and I was like, you need to wait, I'm watching Star Trek here, this is like the last episode of the season 3, so, and he was like, oh, just go and watch it in the living room, your mum and Angela aren't watching anything, my sister. So I goes in, and they were like, oh, what's this you're watching? Oh, no, putting on that Star Trek crap, blah, 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 blah. And then my dad, only after 5 minutes, came back into the living room because he wasn't interested in his game. So most of the episode was watched by the rest of my family as well, my brother, my sister, my mum and my dad. And because of that episode, at the end of it, everyone turned around and goes, when's the next one on? Need to know what happens. And from then on... Yeah, apart from my mum, who likes Star Trek, but it's not really that into it. Me, my dad, my sister, and my brother used to sit down and watch it every single night, all the new episodes as they came out on Sky One. It was at the time, and that turn of events got the rest of my family interested in Star Trek, and that was brilliant. Yeah, so that episode's so powerful that it done that, converted the rest of my family to Star Trek.
My favorite part of that episode, well, there were a lot of good parts of that episode, but one of the best parts is unfortunately at the very end. But it's like the powerful end of that episode where it was like, inform Starfleet we've engaged the Borg. I was like, you give it every time. Freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Really, really good.
So just for giggles, while we've been talking, I went onto Google and I typed in what is the most watched Star Trek episode, and the answer that I got is kind of twofold, because it says one of the most well-known episodes is from the original series, which is Trouble with Tribbles.
Mm-hmm.
But the most revisited episode of Star Trek is Endgame Part 1 and 2.
From Voyager, yeah, the last episodes. They are fantastic, and I have watched them multiple times. And to see the jump into the future and the technology that Admiral Janeway's brought back and stuff like that, yeah. But again, brilliant episodes and a fantastic way to end Voyager.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So then the next question and the last question is, what is your most revisited and rewatched episode? And it can't be your favorite episode, because then otherwise
that's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, because my favourite episodes are my most rewatched.
Yeah, that's a bit difficult to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's my most rewatched outside of my favourite now? Let me think about that one.
Okay, fine. What is the most rewatched series from the franchise that you'll watch?
Oh, Next Generation.
TNG, over and over and over again.
Yeah. I could. It's one of those things where I could start watching it, get to the end of season 7, and it all finished, and then go right back to watching it again. No worries.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It's got to be original series.
Cool.
not the only
Yeah,
one
the,
with a different
the original
voice.
series is, yeah,
Big,
that,
yeah.
that, that's where it all started.
Yeah, because being at a certain age, remember it coming out. So, I should say it was the animated series more than the original series.
Mine's Voyager. But
Yeah,
Next Generation
Voyager's my
is-
second.
It's like
Yeah.
it's pretty much a tie between the two of them.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like a lot of people have asked me, why do you watch the same things over and over and over again? It's like, well, I don't know, Star Trek. It's not just limited to Star Trek with me. It's like when I'm
Star
actually not
Trek is
feeling well, I sit and watch The Good Place again because it's
Okay.
brilliant. Really cheers me up. But Star Trek's just, you're so nuanced and stuff like that. You get something from it extra every single time you watch it.
Yeah, but I've got a counter. I've got a counter to that question though. Whenever they ask you that stupid question, you say to them, "Why do you rewatch football matches that made history?" Same reason.
Yeah, that's true.
There's always a good counter to whatever stupid questions they ask like that. It's one of the reasons why when people say, "Oh, why do you play video games when you can play sport?" It's like, "Oh, why do you play video games when you can, like, I don't know, go watch a football or a rugby match?" It's like, well, because like you like to watch rugby and football, I like to play video games. Like you like to go out and watch movies, I like to play video games. Those are my movies.
That's another round for another day.
Yeah, it is. But it's basically the best counter is just use their favorite hobbies against them because it's the same thing. You know,
Yeah.
it's you know, why do you do your hobby? Because it's a stupid question to ask anyone why they enjoy their hobby. You know, it's something you enjoy.
Yeah. I must admit, any episode of The Next Generation where Dr. Pulaski gets taken down
You're not
a notch or two, it's a good episode as well because she's really fucking irritating.
Yeah, she's arrogant though. That's why.
Yeah, she's too fucking full of herself.
But the funny thing is, a lot of people that I know who started watching Star Trek at whatever points in their life always started with the Next Generation and then either finished that and then went to the original series or forward. So it is obviously for most people, I think, one of the most rewatched ones.
Yeah.
But the original series is a close second, I think, as well. Because I know that was my dad's favorite. Aside
Yeah.
from the Next Generation.
I've got the episode to the question that you asked. The most rewatched one that's not one of my favourites is I can't remember the name of the episode now. It's the one where Picard is dying because of his heart is failing. And Q takes him to his past.
Yeah,
And,
that's a good episode.
Yeah, and he gets out of getting stabbed by the Nausicaan, but yeah, he turns out to be just like because he didn't take those risks, he's just some lowly lieutenant on the Enterprise instead.
Yeah.
That's
I
fantastic.
don't even think he was. Yeah, he was just a lieutenant, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
the
he
sciences
signed
as
as well.
well. Wasn't even command. But yeah, that's a brilliant episode. I love watching that one.
Tapestry. Yeah,
Tapestry,
But he was
yeah,
God.
But yeah.
With God.
yeah.
Another episode I really actually enjoyed watching
I like anything
over and
with
over
you.
again. Yeah, now there was another episode for me was when the Q Continuum made Q human because he kept screwing around with all those planets and stuff like that, and they were like, nah, okay, you know what? You're actually you're a detriment to the Q Continuum. We're making you human now.
Yeah. And It was brilliant when Guinan stabbed him with a fork in the hand just to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bloody good episode.
Yeah, it's a very good episode.
They spent time when Q comes on the space station. There's
Yeah.
a boxing match with Q.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Disco boxes him, yeah.
He has to be the most mischievous, I think is how you say it. Mischievous character in Star Trek. Like he's the most shit-headiest character, but you hate him and love him at the same time.
You do, yeah. I mean, it's the Next Generation wouldn't be the same without him. The Voyager episodes, I mean, I'm glad he only appeared in that one episode of Deep Space Nine because he didn't suit it at all. Although it was funny when he actually punched him and he was like, "Oh, Picard wouldn't do that."
Interesting.
Yeah. But and he was all right. I mean, the episodes that he was in Voyager were okay. But yeah, and the Next Generation, I think every episode that he was in was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Even the worst episode, in my opinion, which was the first one, the worst episode that Q was in, was Encounter at Farpoint. But it did set off absolutely everything from then, including the whole
Exactly.
Trial Never Ends thing and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it's still a kick-ass episode, just the worst of Q ones, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for if it wasn't for the Encounter at Farpoint, I don't think. I mean, you know, they would have been able to write a story for it, but or write stories into it, but if you look at it from a standpoint of the story is a living story, then no, they wouldn't have been able to actually write in or that the Borg would never have actually found out that the humans were at this point in the universe and blah 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 blah. There would have been a whole bunch of things that would never have happened, and he basically was the catalyst for the entire series, essentially.
Yeah. There was another episode, I think it was the second one that Q was in, where he was going around giving people exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
Or sorry, Riker was. So he'd given Riker the power of
He'd given
Q.
Riker the power, yeah.
Yeah, and he was going to make Data a real person. And I was like, oh, we're going to go see what Data's like without all the makeup and stuff like that and be a real person. And then the Data turns around and goes, no, I really don't want that, actually. And yeah, that was going to go like that.
Yeah.
The only person who showed any restraint was the person who wasn't really human.
Yeah.
You getting with?
He gave Geordi his eyesight back. I didn't care, but thankfully when they should have kept Crusher that old. I bet you that actor would have been a hell of a lot more enjoyable to watch than Wesley Crusher.
Yeah.
That's the one part they shouldn't have changed. Riker should have, or Q should have let him remain that old. Because you know what? Perfect. There we go. Then there's no more Crusher, no more worrying about having to say "shut up, Wesley" every 5 seconds because that idiot's speaking again. So it would have been great.
Yeah, and it's like it's just like the way Will Wheaton has went from being a scrawny wee kid to just a regular man instead of what the Next Generation visions from a scrawny wee kid.
Dude,
to this
not much has
muscle guy,
changed.
man. It was like, I mean, they could kick everybody's ass. It was like,
Yeah.
the juxtaposition between the two reality and that. It's like the episode where, that's another brilliant episode. I forgot about this one, but oh man, I would maybe put this one as my favourite actually above all the other episodes that I've said. So just forget everything I've said. But the episode where Picard is hit by that probe and he lives an entire lifetime in 30 minutes. That is
Jeez, that was
amazing.
awesome.
I can't believe I forgot about that episode, but that is a fantastic episode.
In the light.
And
Yeah, that's what it's called, in the light.
Yeah, that is fantastic. And the reason
Epic
I thought about that
episode.
is because I was going to say, look, Patrick Stewart looks, they aged Patrick Stewart to look like an old man, and he's the age he is now in real life that he was then, and he looks a hell of a lot better than they did when they aged him. That's what I was going to say, but then I just remembered, wait a minute, that's a fucking fantastic episode as well. Nick mentioned that one, that's probably my one favourite episode over everything. I'd say, that's I forgot about that one. Yeah, can't believe. But yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. And the wee tune he plays on the whistle at the end, and
Yeah.
the way it sort of fades out with the sound of the ship going through space.
Yeah, that was so awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It's absolutely brilliant episode. So well written, so well acted.
Yeah.
So everything about it was just perfect as far as I'm concerned. That's the one for me that so I'm changing it. I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I will anyway. That's my favourite episode.
Yeah, I don't. Sorry, John.
Yeah, carry on. Go to the episode. What was called? Yeah, I thought. Yeah, the so I do go back to the sea if I can. It's the Q and the Grey civil war between the two Qs.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
The only way you can get the up it is Q to mate with a female Q.
Yeah, I forgot, and that was in Voyager as well. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
I was here's me saying the Voyager Q episodes weren't that brilliant, but yeah, no, that was fantastic.
He just touches his hands like that. That's all you do. He said, "Yeah, well, he's jealous."
Yeah, he missed out on a lot there.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously we've had a lot of fun. I'd firstly like to thank everyone for giving up their Sunday evening to join us with this. It's always appreciated. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And for those of you listening and watching, I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And I don't know if anyone has any closing comments that they would like to add.
Not from my side.
I would just like to say, for anybody new who might be watching this, because this is when I start talking about different episodes and stuff like that, more than other specific topics, that gets me more into Star Trek than anything else. So just go and watch it. You'll like it no matter what, even if you haven't seen it before. It's brilliant.
There you go. Go do it.
Do it. Do it now.
Commodore, do you have any final closing notes?
No. She was saying, actually started, come watch it and join SFI.
There we go. Obviously, the links for the SX and the Omnis and SFI will be in the description below. And we'd also love to hear what your favorite episode was, and what your worst episode is, and whether you agree or disagree with the list that we put, well, that I found online. And I will also put links down to those as well. Unfortunately, I've closed it now, so I can't remember where it is, but I will obviously make mention of where I found it, because that's the right thing to do. And until then, thank you very much for everybody who's stuck around this long. And I can't say it as well because I don't have a big manly voice, but I will try. This is the crew of the USS Essex and the USS Omnis signing off. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.